Okay, guys, after watching the video on exponential functions, on reviewing exponential functions, let's talk about this new function called a logarithm. Okay. Before we start that, let's look at this right here. It says we're going to solve for the answer here. Well, we can all know that we have a base here, we have an exponent here. You can type that into your calculator and we can get x, right? It's super easy. 3 to the 4th power is 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. And if you can't do that math, your calculator can. And we get 81, right? Super easy, super straightforward. Same thing here, 2 to the 5th power, type that in, we get 32. Right? Here, we just talked about this last unit, how to solve for x. How do we get rid of this 2 right here? Well, we take the square root of both sides, right? And we get x equals positive 7 and negative 7, right? Same thing here. We can take the cube root of both sides, and the cube root of 125 is 5, so x equals 5. Super basic. Okay, now then we get to this right here. 7 to the x power equals 343, right? So what do we do? How do I get x by itself? How do I get rid of the 7, right? Do I divide by 7? No, that wouldn't make sense because x is an exponent, right? Like, how do I get x by itself, right? Like, so what do I do? Well, I know that, like, okay, I can figure this out because I can just divide by 7. That's 49. Divide by 7 again. That's 7. 7 divided by 7 is 1, right? So I divided 3 times. So that means 7 to the 3rd, right? That's just really confusing. But half of you are like, wait, what is she doing? Why is she even doing that? The whole point is that this and this, right, are different. I can't take the 7th root because this exponent's not 7. We don't know what that exponent is, right? So in order to get x by itself, to get the exponent all alone, we have to introduce something else. We have to introduce a new function. Just like, well, in order to get rid of this 2, we had to introduce a function, and that function was called a radical, right? So radicals, radicals help get rid of the number. Yeah, I'll put exponents the whole word. Look at me writing a whole word. Okay, radicals help get rid of number exponents. But what do we do to get rid of a variable exponent, right? Like, how do we get the variable out of there? Okay, so you know how we talked about how, like, way in the past that they didn't have, like, negative numbers, then the negative numbers were discovered, right? Well, they figured out, okay, we need something to represent negative numbers, opposite numbers. We need something to represent radicals of taking the square root. We needed imaginary numbers to represent 3 dimensions. Now we have to need something to help us get rid of this x. And what we use is called a logarithm. Boo, 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 right? They came to save the day. Now we can get rid of that exponent that is x. So what is a log and when do I use it? Ding, 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 right here. And I think I'm going to end after I talk about that. I don't know. A log is an inverse, okay, to exponential functions. It's a mathematical operation, just like an exponential exponent is, just like a radical is. It's a mathematical operation. Math, and I'm not spelling mathematical. Right? Remember, operation means like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. An exponent is an operation. It's something we're doing to numbers. Okay, we use logs, going on to this point. Okay, so we did that. Check. Use logs to solve for missing exponents. So when the variable is the exponent, notice I underlined is the exponent. Okay, check. So for example, 10 to the x power equals 150. To find the exact value for x, you must convert this expression into a logarithm. Don't ask me, remember, I am not a historian. I'm not like an inventor of math. I don't discover math. I just know how to use it really well. So I don't know where the word logarithm actually came from, but we use it now, right? So in order to evaluate things, we have to convert into a log. Okay, so pause this video, or actually this video is going to end on its own. You don't need to pause it. Anyway, but answer the questions and then watch the next video. Okay.